Writing inequalities from word problems. Today we'll be writing inequalities from word problems, just similar to like what you did with writing equations. I'm providing you with a list of keywords for inequalities that will be placed in your journal on Monday. So look at those keywords that I have listed above, and then you'll see them in your journal for reference later on. Our first problem. The middle school carnival charges $2 for admission plus $3 for each game ticket. Write an inequality for the number of game tickets you can buy if you want to spend, at most, $27. So the most that we want to spend, or the most money we have, is $27. But we have a $2 admission, and then we're going to pay $3 for each game ticket. So we're going to look and find our keywords. When we have our inequalities, it's not going to be an equal sign. We have some keywords that is going to help us determine. So our keyword in this situation is going to be at most. We do not want to spend more than $27. Next, we're going to look for the key information in the word problem that we can start writing our equation. First, we're going to go and find our variable. What we're looking for is what we're trying to find. We are trying to find how many game tickets can we buy. So we're going to use letter T for the number of game tickets. All right, key information. $2 for admission plus $3 for each game ticket. That is just like when we had our expression. That's what we're going to look for. So what we're doing is we're going to talk about one side of our inequality as what we spend. That needs to be less than or equal to the amount of money we have, which is $27. So we're going to have spend has to be less than or equal to our money. So starting on our side, we have $2 for our admission. We're going to have to spend the $2 to get in. Even if we don't spend any money, we're paying $2. Then we have our word plus, and then we have $3 for each game ticket. So each game we play, we're going to have to pay $3. So we're going to have our 3t. So each means times. So 3 times t. That all needs to be less than or equal to the money we have, which is $27. So now we're going to go through and we're going to solve our equation just like we would do any other time or solve our inequality. Creating our t, we look and see where our letter is, which is our letter T, and we want to isolate that letter, so the piece that's added or subtracted. So we're going to subtract 2 on both sides. That leaves us with 3t on our left side is less than or equal to 25. Next thing, we're going to divide both sides by 3. It's a little hard to see right out of room. So 25 divided by 3. So we're going to have t has to be less than or equal to 8.33 repeating. But we all know we can't purchase a partial ticket, so our tickets are going to have to be t, or tickets, is less than or equal to 8 in order to have the amount of money. Question number 2. Stephen has at most $90 to spend on clothes. He wants to buy a pair of jeans that cost $34 and spend the rest on t-shirts that cost $8. Write an inequality for the number of t-shirts that Stephen can purchase. So Stephen is wanting to buy multiple t-shirts. So the most money we have is $90. So that's our inequality, at most. So that's our key word. Our variable. We're looking to purchase t-shirts, so we're just going to go ahead and use the letter T again, and that's going to represent the number of t-shirts that we would like to purchase, or Stephen would like to purchase. Let's write our equation. Same like the last problem, we have what we want to spend has to be less than or equal to the amount of money that we have. So we're going to have spend less than or equal to our money. So at most we want to spend is $90. So we're going to put our $90 that we have for our money, and then we're going to go and create our other side. Our pair of jeans cost $34. Then our and, which represents plus, and then spend the rest on t-shirts that cost $8 or $8 each. Each means multiply. So we're going to have, so 34 plus 8t is less than or equal to 90. So we're going to draw our t out, and we need to isolate our letter. So subtract 34 on both sides. That leaves us with 8t is less than or equal to 56. Isolating the letter t again, we're dividing both sides by 8. 8 is less than or equal to 7. So Stephen can purchase 7 t-shirts in addition to the 1 pair of jeans for at most $90. Example 3. If 5 times a number is increased by 4, the result is at least 19. Really, just by reading it, it's kind of written out for us, and we can just kind of follow along and put the information there. Our key word here is at least. Our variable is going to represent a number. We don't know what number it's going to be. So we're going to use x. Setting up our equation. So starting off on our left side, we have 5 times a number is increased by 4. So we have 5 times a number. So 5 times our variable. We don't know what the number is, so we're going to use x. So 5x. Then we have is increased by 4. So increased by means add. So we're going to add 4 to 5x. And that needs to be at least 19. So we're going to have greater than or equal to 19. Let's solve our equation. Draw our t-chart. Remember, we're isolating our variable, so we're going to subtract 4 on both the sides. That leaves us with 5x is greater than or equal to 15. Then we're going to divide both sides by 5, and our x is going to be greater than or equal to 3. Our next problem. In order to make the playoffs, a bowling team needs at least 965 points or pens after 3 games. If the team's first 2 scores are 341, 281, write an inequality for the score needed in the 3rd game to make the playoffs. All right, so our key word here is at least. All right, so we know that we need to have the total of all 3 games points add up to be larger than or equal to 965. So we're going to have greater than or equal to 965. So we have a first score, which is 341, and we're going to add it on to our second score of 281, and then we're going to add it on to our score we're trying to get. So we're going to use letter S for score. So that's going to be our variable. So our first step is we need to add together our two scores to find out how much we have in order to proceed on how much we need. We are going to add 341 plus 281, and that gives us 622. So we have 622 plus S has to be greater than or equal to 965. So our next step is to create our t-chart, and then we're going to isolate the variable by subtracting 622 from both sides of our equation. That leaves us with S on our left side is greater than or equal to 343 points or pens. That's what they need to score at least in order to make the playoffs. All right, you're going to try this problem on your own. A store rents boats for $20 fee plus $8 per hour. If Adam wants to spend no more than $68, write an inequality for the number of hours Adam can rent the boat. You need to pause the video, solve the problem. When you're done, come back and look and see how you did on the problem. All right, let's look for our key word. Our key word in this situation is that Adam wants to spend no more than $68. So our key word is no more than. So the most we can spend to rent our boat is $68. So let's write the equation. We're going to have on our left side how much we're going to spend has to be less than or equal to the amount of money that we have. So we have $68. Our rental fee is $20. Then we're going to have to add on plus the $8 per hour. So we're going to use H for hours. So 8H. So remember, per means multiply. We have 20 plus 8H is less than or equal to 68. Solving the equation, subtract 20 on both sides. It leaves us with 8H is less than or equal to 48. Divide both sides by 8, and H is less than or equal to 6 hours. So we are able to Adam is able to rent a boat for 6 hours or less.